It is happening for all those Caitlyn haters. They are all having a victory lap right now. I'm seeing it on the internet all over the place. We told you so. We told you so. I mean, come on. Even Victor Wembanyama, who looks like a generational talent after his rookie season, struggled a bit in the first couple of games. And he was 7'5". What is he, 7'4", 7'5"? Whatever he is, the guy is a giant. So when you come into a sport with out of this world physical advantages, even though you are a rookie, it's a bit easier. Caitlyn doesn't have that luxury. She's not the strongest, she's not the fastest, she's not the most athletic on the court. So it's gonna be a longer, more painful adjustment to the league. Obviously, some of her diehard fans were a bit, exaggerative when it came to the expectations of what she was going to do in the WNBA, coupled with the fact that if you watch the games, they're basically guarding her like she's an MVP already. And in a game 7, not even a regular season kind of marking. They're basically marking her like it's game 7 of the NBA finals and she's the MVP or the proposed MVP. It's ridiculous. Like the media adulation that she has gotten probably annoys lots of the WNBA players that are already present. So they are all trying to take her lunch, to be honest. And it's really, really been bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's really, really been bad. And she has not been helped by her team. I mean, Aliyah Boston, I thought she was an all-star. She looks like a log out there. She's so slow. And I watched some highlights of her before the season started. She looked impressive. Her highlights of last season, she looked impressive. But this, from what I've seen from the preseason and the start of the season, she looks so lethargic, slow. And I actually made a comment in one of my videos before the preseason started that I wasn't sure her and Caitlyn would have a good partnership. A lot of people just look at names and assume that everything's just going to be, it's just going to work out. But I just looked at their game. She looks more like the type of big that you dump the ball down to her and she goes to work. I don't think she's going to be able to play the kind of game that is actually advantageous for Caitlyn Clark. I just don't think so. I truly believe that Caitlyn has to play fast. I think that is part of her weaknesses right now. I don't know, maybe she could improve it as time goes on. But one of her main weaknesses is that she doesn't have a 3-level game. She's either 3-pointer or score at the rim. She doesn't have that mid-range. And I know the mid-range is not really the best shots in the modern basketball these days. But you still need it because if defenders know that they can just stop, they have 2 options. Stop you at the 3-point line or stop you at the rim. It's a bit easier than when they know that you could also pull up from the mid-range. I hope she can improve on that, and I think she can improve on that. But for now, she's going to really struggle because the team is very slow. The team cannot play the way. I actually think if the Indiana Fever were playing in the way that the Phoenix Suns of the 2000s with Steve Nash were playing under D'Antoni, or even the ones with James Harden, if they played that way, I think Caitlyn Clark would have been, this rookie season would have been an MVP candidate. I really do believe so. But unfortunately, they play so slow. They have 2 bigs that clog the lane. I mean, it's gonna be rough, and it's not gonna get any easier. Their fixtures are brutal, absolutely brutal. I actually feel really, really sorry for her. But I'm going to check out this video that analyzes what she's been going through, and we'll get back to it at the end of the video.
Please don't overreact to Caitlyn Clark's early struggles through 2 games with the Indiana Fever. Yeah, her efficiency and turnovers haven't been ideal, but she was matched up against 2 of the 3 best defensive teams from 2023 in her first 2 games, which is no easy task for any player, much less a rookie.
I mean, like, what were the WNBA doing? Seriously. Like, I'm not saying you should, prioritize Caitlyn Clark like she's some queen. That's not what I'm trying to say, but this is a business at the end of the day. She has brought in all these fans. If she keeps struggling like this, let's let it go 0-10, the first 10 games, and she keeps struggling like this, I can bet you at least 10% or 20% of these fans are going to check out. They will check out and you would lose them. So the best, I know the WNBA has only like 12 teams, so there's not really a lot of dead rubber teams that the league would have offered to Caitlin Clark to use to adjust to the league. But man, the two of the top 3 best defenses in the WNBA are offering them to Caitlin Clark in the first 2 games. I mean, come on, man. And she has to play them again in the next, I think, 3 games or so. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, no chance. And her team also has to play 12 games in 20 days. What? So literally, you're giving her these tough teams to play against. Her, and you're also not giving her and her team enough time to practice, to gain chemistry, nothing. I mean, they could easily go 0-10 or 0-12. I'm serious. They look so horrible. They look so horrible right now. Not just Caitlin Clark. I actually think she's even actually the best out of the rest. The rest of the team has been so horrible. They'll double team her. They can't even open up. Like, what are they even doing? It's almost like they're trying to... I don't want to go into this conspiracy thing I've been seeing online, but truthfully, it looks like they're trying to make her fail. Because I'll be seeing her, she's holding the ball. The defenses are swarming her like she's some MVP, I guess. Swarming her, 2-3 people. The other teammates are just standing around, not doing nothing, not offering any movement, like an outlet pass or something. And they can't even catch a ball. She's missing so many assists that could have at least helped her start a bit compared to the turnovers. They're missing so many assists. They can't even hold the ball. I mean, what the hell? The more I was watching the game, I was like, wow. Imagine if Caitlin Clark is playing with men. I'm not saying playing against men because she's going to be destroyed. But playing with men, meaning she had like a man that is a big. Should be throwing lobs all over the place for that man. The man, that guy will be having a field day with dunks. But these bigs that she has can't even hold the ball. Man, seriously.
In their career. For reference, in Sue Bird's first 10 games as a pro, she averaged 15.4 points, but shot 36.2% from the field.
I mean, look
For
at
Kelsey
that.
Plum, she averaged 3.7 points,
That
shot
is
24.1% from the field.
Wow, Kelsey was that horrible. And she was also heralded coming into the league as well. Wow, that means Caitlin Clark is even trying, if you even think about it. Caitlin is even trying. Look at Kelsey Plum. She was the number 1 pick and one of the top scorers in college when she came in. And look at her stats in the first 10 games. Damn. Wow. Okay. And I'm very, very sure she wasn't targeted the way Caitlin Clark is being targeted. I think if Caitlin came in here as a normal rookie that her opponents were not targeting, were not angry about, that she's taking all the media attention, I think she would have been fine. But the fact that they're targeting her is making her look worse. I think if she came in like Kelsey Plum, I think she would have been very, very fine. So Kelsey Plum came in without that kind of, vitriol that some of these other opponents may have for Caitlin Clark, and she averaged this in the first 10 games. This is brutal, man.
For Skylar Diggins-Smith, she averaged 10.2 points and shot 31.4% from the field. And then Breon January averaged 5 points and shot 25.9% from the field. You get the point. There's a massive adjustment process from college to the WNBA, even for someone as good as
she's even trying. She's even trying. If you even look at it, Caitlin is even trying.
Caitlin Clark. Plum, Birds, Diggins-Smith, and January struggled early on, but went on to have incredibly successful careers at the top of their craft. I believe this rough start actually might be beneficial for Caitlin Clark long term, so let's dive into the film so I can explain why. Playing the point guard position as a rookie is so hard, and it's probably harder than any other position in terms of the adjustment process. It's like a quarterback in football where everything's ran through you. You're the center of attention, if that makes sense. A rookie center is going to get a couple of easy dump-in layups to get in the groove. A rookie off-ball winger guard is going to get a couple easy catch-and-shoot looks off an advantage created by the ball handler. But for Clark, everything is ran through her. To get a sense
True.
of what I'm talking about with the elite defense,
I mean, as a big, even if you are not really acclimated to the game, you can always get some offensive rebounds, get some easy dunks, some like at least with the men, get some easy dunks. It's a bit easier. Even with the women, at least you can get some easy layups. But as a guard, you have to control the ball. There's a risk of getting so many turnovers, things like that. I mean, like it's so hard. And coupled with the fact that they're basically guarding her like she's some MVP, even makes it so much worse.
of Connecticut, also New York, we'll talk about later. As we see on this possession, Clark faces a blitz, so she
Look
has
at
her
this. Look
primary
at
defender,
this.
Dejanay Carrington, on her, but you also have
Supposed to
Alyssa
run
Thomas, who,
into.
in my
Oh
opinion,
man.
is my defensive player of the year frontrunner this year. She's coming over and help. So once that she doubles the ball, she
She's
makes
supposed
an
to put
overhead
it
pass
down.
and turns it over right. This is a typical read. Like, I think if you're a rookie, this is the read I would expect you to make. Obviously, you get more experience, you keep your dribble
Okay.
alive.
I mean, I would
And
blame
even
her
then, though, if
there.
you
I would
can't
blame
keep
her
your
there.
dribble alive, you probably make the basic read to her off-ball player on the wing on
Yeah.
the right,
Yeah.
and then another
I would
swing to the
blame her.
corner. You know, she was just trying to make things happen, so I'm not
I
too
would
worried
blame
about
her.
this.
I would blame
Second
her in
clip, we
that
see a middle pick and roll
aspect.
between Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark. With this one as well, you see a blitz. John Claude Jones hedges out and recovers onto Aaliyah Boston on the roll. But you also see Brianna Stewart, who has an elite wingspan.
I
It's
mean, she's
insane
supposed to be
length
able
she
to
has.
catch
She's
this
able to
ball.
come over and help and then poke the ball loose. For me, this read right here is, I don't think it's an awful read. I would just say it's about the timing of the read and knowing the personnel, knowing how to place the ball with Aaliyah Boston, where she likes the ball, what's the timing, and these type of mistakes should get filtered out a little bit. Here we see an empty side pick and roll between Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Empty side basically means there's no teammate in the corner, in that strong side corner. So we see Kayla Thornton guarding Caitlin Clark. Thornton, elite
I mean,
on-ball defender, has the
this should be a
strength.
pick and pump.
Brianna Stewart, like I said, the length, the
Okay.
activity, the movement
Supposed
abilities
to.
for her size. So we see the empty side pick and roll,
Wow.
but they
Okay.
blitz the screen, they double
Good
the ball, 2 on the
defense.
ball, and she turns it over. Stewart's able to get her hands in the passing lanes and force a turnover. Another Boston Clark middle pick and roll. We see a little hedge and recover as well from Olivia Nelson Adoda. Here, yeah, it's just probably a very
Oh,
bad
okay.
passing read.
Horrible pass.
Not seeing
Horrible
the help
pass.
coming over from Melissa Thomas and being a little bit tunnel visioned with her read. To be mistaken
Horrible
that
pass.
Caitlin didn't have any really nice reads in her first 2 games. She did have some. So one I really liked here was she draws 2 on the ball here and makes another sick wraparound pass. This is something I talked about in my film breakdown last week on Caitlin, so I went into more depth there, but the wraparound pass is something she excels at. Again, here, Clark's being guarded by Dejanay Carrington. She draws 2 on the ball with Bree Jones
Pick
in
and
help.
pop.
She makes a very
Pass.
sick bounce pass, behind the
Look at
back
this,
bounce
look
pass
at
at
this.
that, but Aaliyah Boston travels. These are the passes that aren't going to show up on the stat sheet. Indiana just hasn't been scoring as well, so some of these passing reads she's been making aren't going to be showed up as assists. One thing I talked about briefly, I believe, in my first film breakdown on Caitlin was
Not just not showing us assists, some of them showing us turnovers, making her look worse.
it's not as big for me for her to be some dynamic mid-range pull-up shooter as it is for her to have an elite floater. So here we see one of those misses here. She gets Dejanay Carrington on her hip and then kind of just overshoots it a little bit. I think she probably could have gotten an extra step deeper in the paint to make this a little bit easier as well. We did see one really nice floater in the New York game here. We see her defended by Benijah Laney Hamilton in isolation.
What kind of
Shoots down here with
system
a
are
little
they
cross
playing? Look at
between
this.
the
Look
legs.
at this. Look at this. What is this system? What is this? 2 players standing there. Someone is supposed to spread the what? This 1, 2, 3. This is 5 players. One person is supposed to be here. One person is supposed to be at this corner to open up the floor. Oh man, this is just horrible.
And she uses her shoulder to bump
Look at
Laney
this.
Hamilton, get in the air, which allows her to keep her balance better and finish at the rim. And then as far as her shooting, there was very high-level moments of shot making, being able to run off movement, create her own shot in isolation, get her step-back jumper going left. Overall, though, I would say one thing I'm looking to see more of is get that step-back going right.
Yeah, that is something I've always been saying. I said this in one of my other videos about Caitlin, and some people, argued with me about it, but it's a concern. It's a real concern because I've watched so many highlights of this lady, and even though she shoots to the right once in a while, it's kind of rare. It's kind of really rare. It's really rare. And it is not frequent enough that that right side is a threat. It's not frequent enough. When teams have studied her and studied her and studied her to a point where they know that 80% of her pull-up threes are gonna be going left instead of going right, they'll just hedge towards her going left. And in one of the few times that she could go right, I mean, they can live with that. But the point is that she has to mix it up way more than she's doing right now, because it's going to be a problem. I know a lot of Caitlyn fans don't like hearing any kind of, and I actually like Caitlyn. I actually like Caitlyn Clark. I enjoy watching her game. The pull-up logo threes are insane, but I think there's always room for improvements, and that shouldn't be, brushed aside anytime someone tries to make. Now, there are some haters, obviously. For example, I didn't think Diana Taurasi's comment was hating, unlike a lot of Caitlyn fans thought it was. I didn't think so. She was right. She was right. I said it. I'm not just saying it with 2020 hindsight now. I said it in my last video as well. She was right, because at the end of the day, it's going to take some adjustments. It happens like that for every rookie in every sport. That's just the reality of sports. So to me, it wasn't hating. Now, Cheryl Swoops, that one was clearly hating. Clearly, she was hating. She was basically finding it so hard to even say anything good about Caitlyn Clark. And she actually had to lie to try to make her point. So that was actually hating. But Diana Taurasi was not hating, in my opinion. A lot of Caitlyn Clark fans were a bit sensitive and were abusing her that she was hating and all that. I didn't see any hating there. She was just stating the reality when it comes to sports.
Know if that's something she's really comfortable doing a lot, but if she can get her jumper moving right, I think it can make her more dynamic and unpredictable with her shot, and keeping the defense off balanced. Overall, it hasn't been a great start for Caitlyn, but she's a rookie, and by July at the latest, I expect her to look like a bona fide star. We come back from the Olympic break, and she's going to be playing exceptional basketball. It might be earlier than that. It might be a couple weeks from now, and she's dropping 40 points. She's an elite prospect.
I doubt that.
Can score off the dribble. She's an elite passer. The moments are there. You can see her processing speed's there. It's just about, understanding when you should make this read, when you should make the easy read. And that stuff just comes with time. It comes with age. I want to give you one more bonus topic here in this video, and something people forget is this Indiana Fever team is way more than Caitlyn. If her teammates are playing well, it makes things easier for her. If Caitlyn's playing well, it makes it easier for her teammates. She's not the only player on this team, but as a whole, this start has been historically bad. According to ESPN Stats and Info, Indiana was outscored by 57 points in its first two games, which is the largest point deficit in WNBA history for a team through its first two games.
That is crazy.
These struggles are on both ends, but a major thing I believe has just been the defense overall. It's something I mentioned in it was in the power rankings video I did, where the defense was, a big deciding factor on how good this team is this year. Aaliyah Boston hasn't been great in drop, just defending in drop. I don't think she's made massive strides from last year. It's only 2 games. She could get there. More reps will help her. Another thing I believe has been huge for them is just Kelsey Mitchell. She is someone that was an all-star last year. She's only played 19 minutes per game through 2 games.
She's also not a good defender. So I doubt, maybe she may help a bit, but I don't think she's going to help that much in terms of them not being able to defend. I'm going to say what I'm going to say at the end of the video about what I think, in my opinion, when it comes to Caitlyn Clark's career in the WNBA.
Recovering from injury, she hasn't been good in those minutes she's been getting. Also hasn't been able to defend well. 27% from the field.
One of Caitlyn's biggest weaknesses are her defense. I know the excuse for that was always the fact that she had so much load to carry in college, so she didn't have the energy to exert defensively. I don't agree with that. I mean, all the highlights I've seen, I've tried to watch a lot of games that she played in college. I just don't think, am I saying that she has no hope of being okay defensively? No, she has, but I don't think she will ever be great defensively. I just don't think so. I don't think she will ever be great defensively. She could be good enough to not be a liability. Let me put it like that. That being said, if she's on that level defensively, all her teammates have to be great defensively. Almost like Steph Curry, for example. Steph Curry is not the best defensively. Most of the time, he's being hidden defensively by his team. And that makes him actually look good. It makes him not to look like a defensive liability, because the way the team has been built, it has been built in a way that he's kind of hidden most of the time defensively. That's what they have to do for Caitlin Clark on the WNBA level. I personally think her whole starting lineup have to be elite defenders, just like the Warriors. The Warriors had Klay Thompson. They had all the threes that have had Harrison Barnes. All the other ones that I've had were good defensively, Draymond Green, or everybody in the Warriors, almost everyone on the Warriors, for at least the starting lineup, were elite defensively. And even the bench, you had the likes of Sean Livingston, who played during Steph's first title, was elite defensively. So what I've noticed with the Indiana on the Fever's lineup is, even though I'm new to the WNBA, the few games I have watched, a lot of them are horrible defensively. Aliyah Boston, like I said in my other video, she looks like a type of big that you build a team around. You build a team around, meaning you can have her there, then you have a bunch of shooters, because she's a very good passer. You have a bunch of shooters who are also good defensively, a lot of 3 and D players, a points guy that can get her the ball at the right time, and just get her the ball and watch her work. When she's double teamed, she'll pass it out to the open shooter or whatever. I think that is the kind of team that she has to play. I just don't think her style of play meshes with Caitlin Clark, in my opinion. Maybe I may be proven wrong eventually, but from what I have watched and comparing the style of play that she plays with other NBA players I have watched in the past, her style just seems like she needs more of a Chris Paul, instead of a Caitlin Clark. She needs more of a Chris Paul, a guy that is just there to give her the ball, and a player that is just there to give her the ball, and she just goes to work. And she will be surrounded by great defenders. Because I don't think this is a great defender. Maybe defending one-on-one, defending a post player one-on-one, she may be fine. But in terms of the drop coverage and every other thing, I think she's not good at all. And the rest of the team, the Fever has so many guards that are not good defensively. So many guards. Kelsey Mitchell is not good, at least from all these scouting reports I have read. She's not great defensively. Erica Wheeler, not great defensively. Maybe Lexi Hall is good defensively, but not the greatest. Like, most of our opponents will have way more elite defenders coming against her than those that are on our team. So I'm not really sure about Katie Lou yet. I don't know whether she's great defensively. Nalisa Smith doesn't look great defensively. And the team is kind of slow. They're not fast. Caitlin Clark has to play fast. He has to be, grab a rebound, you're out there. Straight up. Even when they score, even when they are scored upon, they should not wait for the opponents to go and set defensively. They should run it up. Run. I think that is what fits Caitlin Clark's game, from what I have seen. That is her style of play. And ironically, playing with people like Angel Reese could have actually been better for her, because Angel can run the courts very, very well, and she could have actually been a great partner for Caitlin Clark. And also, probably the best partner that she could have ever had on the basketball court, Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink moves way, way faster, way, way better. She's a good shooter, and she's great defensively. So I don't know. I think Caitlin will have to start becoming a GM like LeBron does in the NBA, because even though I think these players are good players, I think Aliyah Boston can be a multi-time All-Star on her own. I just don't think they mesh. Same thing with Nalisa Smith. I think Nalisa Smith actually meshes better, even though I don't think she'll see the best type of power forward that should play with Clark. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know that in the comments. I really hope that she does better, because frankly, if she keeps struggling like this, a lot of people that are following her, that followed her from college to come and watch the WNBA, they will check out. Unfortunately. That is just the reality of life. You cannot force people to watch you. There has to be a reason for them to watch you. And I know some race obsessed people in the United States always like bringing up race. That's the reason why Caitlyn is popular. That is not the reason. If that was the reason, why isn't Brianna Stewart as popular? Why isn't Diana Taurasi as popular? Why isn't Elena Deladon? I don't know how that is how to pronounce her name. Why are they not as popular as Caitlyn Clark? Those are all white women who were great. Like, the way people talk as if Caitlyn is the greatest white player that's ever existed in the WNBA. There have been probably greater white players. Now, we don't know how Caitlyn is going to be for her career, so maybe she could surpass them. But for now, at this point, there have been greater white players. So why didn't white people all gravitate towards them if it's just about race? It's ridiculous. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.